Alright, so I've got an interesting one for you guys today because we're going to be talking about multiple stories in this one, and they're all pertaining to One Punch Man in one way or another. So instead of giving them their own little individual videos, I just cram-packed them all into this one to give you that sweet Saturday content. So yes, this first story that we're going to be talking about does include webcomic spoilers, but don't worry, the rest of the video is spoiler-free. So if you want to skip to the second story and get past the spoilery stuff, skip to this time in the video. But for now, let's get into it. So this is something that I actually discovered myself when I was rewatching One Punch Man Season 2. So in the intro, when we get to the portion where we see Genos taking on Garo, it suddenly just splits off to Garo kind of just doing his own thing so his name can show up. And interestingly enough, it doesn't show his name, but we'll go into that. And then, we see Garo smiling, and then for a split second, before it cuts away from him, we see it change to this. Now, that's super interesting because a lot of you can already see what this is, and it's none other than foreshadowing Awakened Garo. I think this is, amazing, right? Because this is a straight-up Easter egg right in the beginning of Season 2, something that we're not going to see for a very long time. So let's go into the name before we go any further, because it says Kaijin. That's obviously not Garo's name, and Kaijin means monster in Japanese. So why does it say Kaijin here? Not exactly sure, because Monster Garo, Garo the Monster, that's this whole thing going into this season, but it could be they're trying to avoid spoilers, they don't want you to know that this character is Garo, even though by the end of Season 1, we already know that Garo is Garo, especially when we see the preview of what's going to happen in the next episode, and given that we see this intro for the first time at the end of Season 1 as opposed to the beginning of it, it's just odd how this all, comes together here. But also, seeing Kaijin, monster, over the Easter egg of Awakened Garo is pretty interesting as well. So if we look deeper into this is definitely him. He's got the tattered scarf that is iconic with both pre-woke Garo, but more so specifically Awakened Garo. And then we've got the horns coming out of him, and the darkness, and then the toothy, sharp teeth smile that he has. This is just amazing. And like I said, we're not going to see him for a while now, so it's kind of for the hardcore fans that are just paying attention to this, and the weirdos like me that pause every frame just to see if we're going to see something more in detail and things. Alright, so the next story we got is Yusuke Murata, the illustrator of the One Punch Man manga, has started streaming again. So let me just get everyone up to date on Murata and his streaming before I go any further. So 2 years ago, a year and a half, sometime around then, Murata used to stream himself drawing the One Punch Man manga, and this was incredible for multiple reasons. So first of all, we got to see spoilers of what was going to happen in the upcoming chapter before it was released, of course, but then sometime Murata would give us insight into backstories of the characters that we didn't know about before, or he would tell us how strong a certain character was, or he would even tell us some stuff that One told him. And sometimes he would slip up and tell us too much or show us too much. And we would also get to see how certain panels come together, and we'd also get to see some panels that don't necessarily make the final cut. For example, this panel right here is from chapter 94. This is something that he originally made and decided to cut it out of the final draft. So this is a fun little Easter egg for all of you guys in case you were curious on seeing some deleted content, if you will. Basically, his live streams were legendary, to put it bluntly. But unfortunately, he decided to stop doing them around a year and a half ago for multiple reasons. But it all ultimately came to us getting bi-weekly chapters consistently, and it probably took some stress off of Murata. But anyway, yesterday Murata started streaming again. But instead of doing it on the IBM stream and the Twitter streams he used to do, he started streaming on YouTube, apparently on this Men Suyu channel, something that I wasn't aware of, but I guess he's had it for a while now. Now, what he was drawing in this specific live stream wasn't One Punch Man. Apparently, he was drawing a new issue or a continuation possibly of his one-shot magic versus technology. So either this one-shot is going to be getting another chapter or an extension to it, or it might even have been picked up as a full-blown series. I'm really unaware of what's going on with this right now, but this is cool because it might mean that Murata is going to start live streaming again, which means that we might start seeing like One Punch Man getting illustrated again, meaning that we're probably going to get spoilers again, as well as more info on the stories like what we were getting before. Like that whole thing about that guy that Puri Puri Prisoner fights in Chapter 94, like that horned fodder demon. The whole thing about him being as strong as Deep Sea King, that came from Murata telling us that in the live stream. So hopefully we'll get more of that. I wouldn't get my hopes up too much though. This might be like a one-time thing for him, but it's still pretty interesting to look at. So if you're interested in the possible future of Murata live streams, subscribe to his Men Suyu channel because, hey, maybe we'll see more from him, maybe not. Alright, so the next story is about the 2 new One Punch Man Season 2 OVAs that are coming out. In case you weren't aware, we already got 2 of these already, and I've reviewed both of them on the channel. The first one was about those 3 supernatural powered dudes that met up on the internet and wound up also meeting up with Saitama, and they ran into the dirt worm monster and all the shenanigans that ensued after that. And the second OVA was about Silverfang and Atomic Samurai, like fishing, and then they run into Moomin Rider, and then that gecko frog salamander monster, and the shenanigans that happened with that. But now we're seeing what the third and fourth ones are going to be about. So the third one was released on Christmas, actually. So it should be available subbed online soon, I guess. But this third OVA is about Genos, like, losing his memory. So, like, as we see right here, Saitama has, like, a bag of S-Class chips, which is a whole little funny thing in itself. But he's, like, struggling to open them, and then when he, like, busts open the bag, all the chips go everywhere. And, like, Saitama, obviously, moving so fast, like, time stops, and he's, like, grabbing them all by one. And when he grabs the last chip, like, he nicks the side of Genos' head. And just him nicking Genos' head, like, short-circuits him and, like, puts him into, like, a factory reboot or something like that. And he, like, loses his memory. So that's going to be, like, the premise of the episode. Just the shenanigans that happen out of Genos essentially like being in a rebooted state and not really knowing anything. But the one that I'm really looking forward to the most is going to be the fourth OVA, which is going to be released the 28th of this month, and then I guess sometime after that it will be subbed online or something. But this one is going to be about Genos and Saitama joining this VR fighting game tournament, which they somehow find out about, and it's also revealed that it has a cash prize for the winner, so that obviously entices Saitama because, you know, that stuff excites him. And then it's also revealed that Garo is randomly at this tournament, and he's going to be involved in it. But not only Garo, but also Suiryu is there too. So this is just incredible, and the prospect of what could be going down in this OVA excites me so much because we might actually finally see, just in some form, Suiryu going against Garo. Now, like I said, we don't know what's going to happen yet. I don't want to get your hopes up too much, but it seems like we might actually get an encounter between these two. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is that Garo is probably going to face Saitama in the VR game. And given that Garo is a martial arts master and Saitama isn't, Garo's probably going to whoop his butt in this game. He's probably going to beat Genos too. And then maybe it comes down to Suiryu and Garo fighting in the VR game, and this might be how we get Suiryu versus Garo. Like, this is a little fan service for us. You know, just throwing us a bone and just giving us this, something that we've always been asking for, because this is obviously one of the most popular hypothetical matchups in the community. I mean, easily. Hero Hunter Garo versus Suiryu. That's what everybody wants to see. So this might give us that. Now, I don't think it's going to be like this extended, outrageous battle. It'll probably be like a sequence or two, and I'm not even entirely sure if we're going to get it yet, but it just seems like we will. But at the minimum, I would just like it if Garo and Suiryu just talk to each other, or even if they just walk by each other and acknowledge each other's existence. I think that would be incredible. I mean, Suiryu already knows about Garo because he saw him as the Wolfman winning the martial arts tournament. He was like, wow, I wish I can fight him. So that was cool, but them just being in the same room together would just make my day. Because, you know, I'm a fanboy when it comes to Garo and all of that other cool stuff that happens. So, I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for this one. And whenever these are released, I will review them for sure, and we'll see what happens after that point. But that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Let me know what you think about all of this stuff, everything that I talked about in the video. What do you think about Garo vs. Suyu? What do you think about that spoilery stuff I talked about? What do you think about Murata streaming again? Are you excited? But also, if you liked the video, guys, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon. It gives you access to a weekly Q&A. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.